Thank you for joining me on my most recent video blog, Wired for Success, Logo Tech that Connects. My name's Stacey Garrett. I am the VP of Marketing for Ideation Creative Brand Management, and we're going to talk to you today about how to make your brand truly rock. The way to do it is to use promotional tech products. They're not just useful, but they're coveted tools that keep your brand front and center. This video blog is your backstage pass to understanding the potential of tech in your branded merch strategy. I've invited our rep from a leading tech provider in the promotional marketing space to help drop some knowledge bombs, demystify some terms around power banks and cables. He's even going to touch base on the hottest trends in promotional tech. Thank you for joining me, Michael Spitzer, factory rep from Tomax USA.
Thanks, Stacy. Thanks for having me. Excited to talk about all the fun tech stuff. I mean, tech as an industry is really growing just because it's so prevalent to everyday products that people are using. I mean, everybody has a smartphone, everybody has a tablet, and there's not really much tech stuff that people can't use in their everyday life. So we've seen a huge growth in the tech industry, and I'm really excited to be on here today and just share more.
Yeah, you are so right. We have never been as connected as we are now, and that's probably not going to get less. We're not going to be less connected in the future.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
let's just start by talking about power banks. We hear MAH all the time. Can you help us understand what that means?
Yeah, MAH is always thrown out, and I think people don't really even know what it is. So MAH does stand for your milliamp per hour. So when you look at a power bank, it's pretty much how much power a battery has in it. And it's not just power banks, it'll be your personal devices too. Like your smartphone will have a MAH on it. And even your iPad, your computer, everything has an MAH. Pretty much to simplify it, the higher the MAH means the longer the battery will last or the more power it can push out.
Remember when you'd see all these giveaway power banks that were like the 2400 mAh. They wouldn't
Yeah.
charge your phone fully, but they were really inexpensive. But then they became almost disposable, which we don't love. We don't
No.
want things that are just getting used once and thrown away, especially tech products. So now, pretty much the smallest we ever do is 5000 mAh, which that'll charge basically an iPhone as an
Yes,
example, right?
absolutely. Yeah. And the
But
thing is, like nowadays with the phones, like the 2000 mAh, like any of those in that range, they're not enough to charge your phone. So, like, I mean, I have a iPhone 16 here, and it's about, so this is the max version, so it's about 4400 mAh for this one. And then, like, a basic iPhone 15 would be like 3300 mAh. So that 2000 isn't really going to do much for you, really.
yeah,
Um, and especially when we're talking about tablets, like the big tablets, like the iPad. I have a Pro here. Like this is 7,000 mAh. So it's like we're getting into higher capacity where that those smaller power banks just don't really apply. So the 5,000 is a good benchmark to get at least one full 0 to 100 charge.
right. And I honestly did not realize that the phones, depending on the size, also came with different mAh. I did learn something new every day. I guess you can teach an old dog new tricks, Michael.
Even with the devices, everybody states the MAH on it, but every charge is different too, because that's basically saying you're not using the phone and that's 0 to 100. Because guess what? You're going to be using your phone and surfing on the phone, or let's say you're using your iPad and downloading a movie for a plane flight. That's going to be burning juice, so it won't just be 7,000, or even like Stacy out in the sun on the beach in Hawaii. Just because it's so hot,
Ooh,
it'll take more of the battery away. Um,
that makes sense. I mean, I definitely use my power banks as a, oh crap, I'm not home or at the office and my phone is dead. And so I don't really need it to be fully charged, but there have been cases where I've been traveling and I'm in a hotel room and
yeah,
there are no good power outlets. So I charge my phone using a power bank. And in that situation, you do care about, do I want a 5000? Probably not. While it will charge my phone fully, it if it isn't fully charged, it might not charge my phone fully. So we
Yeah,
have
absolutely.
5,000 is kind of the entry level charge an Apple iPhone or Samsung Galaxy once, essentially. The
Yes.
10,000 will charge your iPad, most iPads, just to give you a ballpark idea. Sent me this power bank.
Yeah. Well, here's the one. We got
This,
the region X by
there you
on
go.
that one. Yeah, so this is a great one. 20,000 mAh for this one. So the only dilemma with this one, which comes up when we were talking about laptops, is have the wattage, like the watt hours, which is something that's its own tech
Mm,
area because that's the watts will be like the amount of power it pushes out at once. So that
that's
this
okay.
one, like this 20,000 mAh is great for like phone charging because this thing, like as you were mentioning, like in the hotel room, this could take a whole entire like if you're gone for a week, this could be a great
Great.
option because they'll charge it 4 or 5 times.
I'm getting ready to go to the Philippines, and I was
Yeah,
like, oh, boom, this is going in my bag without a question. And I don't have a 20,000, and I'm kind of a power bank girl. I love my power banks. And so this is another example where I've heard people say, like, oh, power banks have been so done. I I would say they haven't been too done. I mean, the amount of people that I've had to lend a power bank to
oh
because
yeah.
they do not have one. Nate Bailey, the owner of Ideation, he actually did a blog about this. He was in Disney World and he didn't have his power bank was super old and it was no longer holding a charge. And so he had to buy at retail a
Oh
power
gosh.
bank. So, I mean, we're in this world and we can get, I mean, you sent me all these samples. We can get samples that, and I still don't feel like I have too many power banks because there is a different, like we're talking about MAH for that particular need.
Absolutely.
And what depending on what I'm going to be charging. So I love that. So we basically 5,000, 10,000 are real common, 20,000's not as common, but still something that can be done. And
Yeah,
then
and
20,
yeah, 25 is where it does get up there. But like even with this guy, this one is kind of our bare bones option for the 20,000 and this runs you about 20 bucks for this power bank. 20 bucks. It doesn't have the wattage to like charge a laptop, but for that everyday use and like in the Philippines, it's a great option at 20 bucks. You can't go wrong. Like we did something with this for the Amazon drivers just because they had a dated car that didn't have a plug-in and they are on their work
oh,
phone, so this was the killer option for that right
oh,
there. So
great.
it's just so useful.
I love it. And you also have to be careful. For a long time, you couldn't take a 20,000 on a plane. So
Yes.
that was a challenge. But now I think it's 27 for most airlines that you can't have anything above 27. So
Yeah.
20,000 still you're able to fly with it, but you should check with your airlines just to make sure.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
It's not just about travel, like you're at a trade show and all of the power outlets are being used for the booth and you need to be able to run your laptop. Like these could be part of your team that hits trade shows, part of their kit so that they can run their devices when they're
Absolutely.
sitting in a show booth or at the airport and you can't find a plug. I see it all the time. People sitting on the floor at the airport in the terminal trying to charge their device.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
another thing with power banks that has become much more of a conversation piece is power banks that have cords, like this one requires a cord in order to charge my device, versus one that's not corded.
Here's our wireless option, wireless charger on there. The wireless stuff has been a big push, especially Apple, in the last 7 years or so. Yeah, perfectly, right there. And it kind of started with I think it was the iPhone 8 that started with it, and it had it's pronounced like Qi, but it's like everybody sees QI, but it's
Mhm.
pronounced Qi. So that's like the wireless technology that you can place it on stand, and it will wirelessly charge your phone. And it started with that, and then the big push was over to MagSafe.
Yeah.
Um, and like with the one Stacy was just showing, and like this one, the MagSafe is huge because it's got like on your back of your phone with the new iPhones, it'll have that magnetic circle on it. So, I mean, I think after the iPhone 12, they implemented that into all the devices. That was the issue with the original wireless charging was it might not be dead on the wireless
Right.
charger, so it wouldn't really fully charge. With a MagSafe, you don't have to worry about it falling off.
I
Great
know
option.
it's amazing. My phone is charging right now. But Michael, you're obviously an Apple dude. But in my house, I'm the Apple person. My boyfriend, not an Apple person. That MagSafe isn't on everything, right? So what do you do?
Yeah, and that's been the big thing because a lot of the phones now, even the Samsung options as well, have been coming out with the wireless charger as well. I believe the newer models are implementing MagSafe into their phone or their own take on MagSafe
Yeah, yeah,
because they got to make it
yeah.
difficult on
All
us
right.
all the
Yes,
time.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I believe the Samsung was the first to
yeah,
offer that wireless charging, and then the MagSafe made it so that it, because I have always had that same problem, like setting my phone, trying to get it lined up perfectly. Oh, it's charging. Nope, it's not charging.
oh,
Oh, it's charging. But you solved that problem so that you provide this power bank, which is super amazing, by the way. We can talk about it a little bit. And then in this box that came in, it also comes with a ring.
yeah,
So if you do
absolutely.
not have a MagSafe device, but it allows for wireless charging, you can install this on the phone and now you can use MagSafe charging. And look at this. Seriously, like I've never seen one that comes with this. It has a template. So you know where to put this on the device so that it will be able to use this MagSafe.
Yeah,
And
it's been a game
and
changer.
I've done it. I've done it on my anti-Apple guy that I live with. I've given him these. I'm like, hey, put this on your phone.
I had an older iPhone too, Stacy, and I upgraded. So I had that ring on my phone, and it worked perfectly. Yeah, and there
Uh-huh.
was no. I mean, it obviously the MagSafe. The only issue with those rings is it has the little strap right here that kind of keeps it in place, but it sticks on there and it works perfectly.
Yep.
It still is seamless, and
Yes.
especially as
So,
the technology advances, it'll be a common feature on all phones.
and I think the reason I bring it up is because that has always been a problem with tech accessories. It's like, wait a minute, Apple uses a different technology than Android. Oh, wait, I don't want to do a tech accessory because this isn't going to fit everyone. But now it does pretty much fit everyone. Like, I don't have the newest, latest, greatest phone. And I still can use all of the stuff you're talking about. I mean, my phone is older and it still works just fine with all of this technology. And the Android that my boyfriend has, also a little older, and it works great with this technology. So I think the reason I bring up these adapters you have and you provide with all of them is that makes it so it crosses over, right?
Absolutely.
And that leads us to the other thing that's so annoying about the different kinds of devices is cables.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, so your wireless charging, that's great, but sometimes you just have to have a cable, right? You need to be able to use a cable for one reason or another. Mine is a lightning.
Oh, okay.
My my AirPods, I have two pairs of AirPods. One is a lightning, one is a USB-C. Then I have a Kindle. My Kindle is micro USB. And some at some point you have to charge this.
Yep. Yeah.
You need a cable. The cables are still super relevant, even with wireless charging, because this doesn't charge by osmosis. You need to plug it in at some point.
Yes, absolutely.
So, so cables are another thing that is still very relevant because as a lot of people are still in this transition of what I have all these devices and my iPad is a USB-C. I mean, like even an Apple person, and I have all these different devices. I
It's a headache.
personally, it is because of that. I use this cable that you guys
Absolutely.
do.
I mean,
It is one of my favorites because it's got all this nice heavy metal. But I literally posted something on LinkedIn recently where I was charging my AirPods, my Kindle, and my iPad all at the
yeah,
same time. It maybe wasn't charging super fast, but I was getting ready to travel. I wanted to plug it in and just forget about it and know that everything was charged. This thing is amazing. So
Yeah.
cables are still very relevant, even if you are, devoted to your one brand. So
Oh,
talk to me
totally.
about some of the different options for cables.
Well, yeah, and cables are definitely, in my opinion, I think, and just the way we do it at Tomax, because as Stacy's been mentioning, it's like we try to utilize it to be applicable to everybody and all your devices. And I think it's like one of the best promo options you can do is a branded cable because everybody needs those extra cables, and we build these so they're multifunctional. Like even our new one that we have, I love this one. It's a retractable cable. Yeah, you get that one. Isn't that cool? So it's like retractable, but the cool thing is it has the lightning on one end and the USB port on the other, but then on each end, it's got a USB-C on the inside. So talk about like how it can add to everything. And this
I
one
mean,
also,
this is
yeah,
like
a
for
fidget toy.
anybody that's been around for a while, we used to have these. I
Yes.
remember them, and they were garbage. You would do it once or twice, and then they'd stop working. This thing is really nice. This is really nice. Great imprint area.
Yes.
And like he said, you know, I have a USB on here, and a lot of my chargers have USB, but some of them need a USB-C.
Yep.
That's it. Done. I can choose Lightning, USB-C. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, you
All in
can't
this.
beat it. Yeah, so definitely a cool one for us, and especially it works with Apple CarPlay now too, because a lot of the cars are moving to USB-C now too, because it's becoming the
Right.
new norm. But yeah, even just getting onto the cables and the ports. So with the ports, like the USB-A, where the USB port that Stacey was showing, the USB-A it was kind of the, I mean, it's been around forever. It's still standing. Like a lot of, as Stacey was mentioning, a lot of her chargers still have that, and it's still popular. I mean, people still use them, and it pushes out a lot of power. But the move really is to that Type C, really to simplify it.
Yeah,
And
and that is something not everybody has all those cables yet.
yeah,
So you providing a cable might just simplify their life a little bit to make it that much easier.
oh yeah, and when
It-
people think about cables, they just think about these simple ones you get with your
yeah.
phone. And it's just these dainty little cables that break after a while that you get with your phone. We elevate these cables to much more. So that's a cool thing with it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
even
Look at this braided cord. I mean,
yeah.
this thing is not breaking. And as you were talking about USB, USB-C. So now whatever my charger is, whatever I need to plug it into, my laptop is actually USB-C, it doesn't have USB, and my USB might be my wall outlet. And now I can charge my iPad, my iPhone,
Yeah.
my two different pairs of AirPods, all with one cable.
Oh yeah, and then everybody's always thinking about sustainability, and that's a big thing. And even with Tomax, we have bamboo and wheat straw options too for recycled cables. That I mean, these aren't as like heavy duty as our other ones, but they have all the cables that the heavy duty one that you're mentioning offers. So just other options too.
And sometimes heavy duty also comes with weight. And sometimes every ounce matters when you're carrying a big old backpack through airports. So having something a little lighter could be practical for the travel set.
Oh, totally, absolutely,
I
yeah,
wanted to show this
yeah.
power bank that we didn't talk about it because we're not talking about the power bank necessarily, but I love that it lights up. But check this out. So it has a plug on it. You guys, seriously, it's retractable and
Yeah,
it
it's
shows that
nice
it's
display on it.
100% smart.
And
I
it's
love that too
10,000
because
mAh. So it's like you feel the weight on this. It's super light and easy to throw in a pocket. Like if you're going for
oh
a
hey,
walk
look at that's
and
what
then
we're
you
talking about right there.
Comcast. And then you can just push it up as long as you want and you can go all the way out. Like I mean it doesn't have to be it's just
It's
I mean
so
really
cool.
yeah, and this is our brand new one that we just launched.
And it's USB-C and Lightning. So
Yes.
again, perfect for Stacy
Yes,
because
exactly.
the
Your
only thing is
boyfriend
not
can
going to
use it,
work
you
is
can
my
use it.
Kindle.
Everybody can use it. Everybody's happy.
And I love the light up logo. I'm always a sucker for a light up logo. I think it just is so cool to really help your brand shine a little bit.
Oh yeah,
It's
and it's like we've really the laser engraved light up logo has been a big trend for us just to have other ways to stand out. Like it kind of started with this guy. So this is one of our other 10,000, and this is really cool just because I was showing this earlier, but it's got the wireless for your phone and the watch charger is what's really cool on this one because the watches is a whole different area and they've grown in popularity just because I mean I'm wearing one right now. They're just so
yeah.
useful in everyday life. But the issue is Apple and Samsung have opposite watch magnets. They can never make it easy. So it's like if your
No.
boyfriend had a watch and you had a watch, you guys would have to have different watch chargers. The cool thing with this one is it's first to market to charge both Apple and Samsung. So it's got the
Oh,
magnet stuck in the middle, so it attracts either one of them.
that's so cool. You guys have this, which I think is really cool. So
Yes.
it folds up to be this much. It's got the extra magnet for those of, non-MagSafe devices, but it is a travel ability to travel charge your AirPods that do wireless, your watch, and your phone.
It's one of
Sweet.
my favorites. I travel with that every time I'm on the road at a hotel just because I have the different products. And like even that's been around for a little while now, but like even we have
Mhm.
this one too that's a power bank as well too. So this one charges your phone, wireless there, it's got your watch, and then even on the back charges your headphones. So talk
Oh
about, I
my
mean,
God.
this does it all and you don't
It's
even need to bring the cable on it too.
right. That's
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so we have a lot of different cables. We can go from the single cable,
Yeah.
like I even, I've seen even the C to C, like a heavier duty C to C that we can get with your logo on it, which is very handy because not all of us have that yet. Or the multifunction that we've talked about, always going to be needed in a lot of situations because I don't know about you, Michael, maybe I'm just unorganized, but I charge my phone sometimes in my office, sometimes in my bedroom, sometimes in the kitchen. So I have charging cables all over because when I need it charged, I need it charged, and so I just keep them plugged into the wall
Yeah.
in those different places so that I can charge it wherever I happen to need it to be charged. And because my Apple phone's a little bit older, it also doesn't hold a charge as long as it once did. So I'm having to charge it more often, which is where these MagSafe chargers are so handy because I can just be
Throw it
charging
on.
it
Yeah. And take it on the
and
go.
not be and just be walking around and not have to worry about where it's at. And you can see, oh, it just showed it was 51% charged. So really, it is getting low on batteries faster. Okay.
Yes.
So we've talked about power banks, we've talked about cables. There's some other things that can be done that are tech related, right? What other kinds of ideas are out there in the tech space?
Yeah, I mean, for us, power banks and cables have kind of been the bread and butter for a long time, but speakers has been something too that we've really tried to get into because it's another way to really elevate your brand. One of my favorite, there's the light turned on. So one of yep, there it is. Yeah. So this is a great option because it's a light up desk speaker. Yeah, the little sound to start it off. But it's really sweet because it works as a speaker. You don't have to keep it charged. You can play play music. And it has a bunch of different light settings on it too. So it's really like an elevated version, and the lights can also sync to your music too. So if you're playing a tune, it can sync once you connect via Bluetooth. So just a cool, unique option there. Uh, yeah, exactly.
It's being a little noisy on me. Sorry, everybody.
But
But I did test it because I was like, well, I mean, how does it sound? It actually sounds great.
yeah,
And like the clear, I don't know, it's just aesthetically, it's so interesting to me with the lights on the inside. So I like the look of it. And I also love that it comes in this nice magnetic
yeah. Oh, yeah,
box.
because packaging is kind of, I mean, Tomax always tries to make their packaging similar to like how you get it from Apple and Samsung. Try
Yeah.
and like even the boxes, we can fully customize those boxes with the company logo on it too. So it's pretty cool there. the big trend's been people want those high quality speakers. So it's like we even have this guy right here, which is our magnetic speaker. So it very similar to like a JBL in size and sound quality. But the cool thing is it breaks off into two separate speakers. So there's two batteries
Mm.
on it. So it can do surround sound, or you can put it on a golf cart if you're out, or you can take one to the beach and save the other one for later on. So it's just a nice,
That's
cool,
cool.
unique option. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And even we got the little one too. A little mini speaker, also similar to like a JBL option because it's just that small,
Uh-huh.
easy to go option.
Right. Okay, so we've got some speakers, Bluetooth speakers, earbuds,
Oh yeah,
earphones.
yeah, we do have Tomax does do so we do have like these earbuds. So these are newer and you'll start to see these more often because these guys aren't your traditional earbuds that just go directly in your ear. They go on the outside of your ear. So you put them on and the goal with these is so if you're in an office, you can hear surrounding conversations that are going on
Mm.
instead of having it directly in your ear, but you're listening to music in the background and nobody really notices. So
Ah,
you'll see people wear them, and it looks like a hearing aid or something. But
uh-huh.
they are great options as well too. And I love our little pack too that has the logo on the outside.
Yeah,
Um,
that's nice. Does
yeah,
that recharge it too, that packaging?
yeah, it does recharge them. Yeah, so it has a little display on the end that can recharge.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so nice, cool, and unique option too.
Okay, so we've got sound. That's obviously something we talked about. Portability with the multi-charger, charging watches, charging earphones. There's also some technology with the Find My, like that. This power bank I keep
Yeah,
fondling because I think it's so cool. It actually, it's hard to see, it integrates with the Apple Find My.
yep.
So you connect it to your Find My, and then wherever this power bank is, you can look on your phone and find it. And that seems like, oh, who cares? Do I really need to know that? Well, what if you always keep this in your backpack? Now that Find My allows you to find out where your backpack is, which that does matter. I'm
Oh,
not as
totally.
worried about. The other thing about this is it actually puts credit cards in there. So you can store your credit cards safely in there. And now that Find My becomes that much more important, right?
Oh, totally. Especially with how events are changing nowadays. If you go to a concert or a sporting event, it's all card in there. So you bring this, you can put your ID in it, put your credit card in
Mhm.
there, can fit two cards, and then it's a nice compact option. If you have a bad battery on your phone, it's good to have a little extra kick in there. And you can just use this as a wallet and just throw it in your like pocket, throw it in your purse, and just easy to go. And when your phone's low, just strap it on.
Right.
Um,
So often that is all I mean, if I'm just running the store because I don't need cash or anything, I maybe need my driver's license and my credit card and that's it.
oh,
And this solves it. Also, I love that it's got this little kickstand so now your phone can sit
yeah, and
and
the stand makes it easy because there's a little area to kind of flick your cards out too. So
yeah,
that's where the stand
yeah.
can kind of make it helpful because it's like locked in there. Like I mean, stays with a card. Like it's hard to get. It's not gonna fall out. Like because some of
No.
those wallets, people really love the wallets that attach to the back of your phone, but this
Hmm.
is just the elevated version of that
Yeah.
with the power
So
bank.
practical.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with this thing. I'm obsessed. So that's another, it kind of integrates with some other useful technology like being able to find where you left your credit card or your phone. Maybe it's attached to your phone because it's charging and you're trying to figure out where it's at. So I love that integration. I think it's really smart. Any other things that you're seeing in trends?
Well, yeah, it just gets back to the multifunctionality with these power banks because the big trend is everybody kind of has like a power bank of some sorts. Like, especially talking about Nate at Disneyland, like he had like an older power bank. And all it is, the big trend for us and what's helped us separate in the market is just having those functionalities, like the wallet with Find My. My favorite one is this one right here, the PC1163. And the cool thing with this guy is it has all the cables built in, but the best feature, yeah, is that plug-in on the back because I have one plugged in the wall right here because it's like you never know. It's always with the power banks when you need a little extra juice, it's always out of out of power. So easy to use.
To be
And
honest, this would be cool in an emergency preparedness kit
yeah,
because it can be. I have a flashlight that's the same way. Then I don't have to worry about batteries. I just have it plugged into the wall. And when in emergency, I know I've got power to be able to keep my phone charged. And this is
oh,
10,000. So based on all the great knowledge you gave us earlier, that will charge two people's phones pretty much
absolutely.
from
Yeah.
zero to charged.
But yeah,
So,
I'd say the just functionality of stuff is really what's been huge and what people really draw to is just having those extra features really helps push it. It's also just making useful stuff that people will use, and that's always the goal
yeah.
from our point of view, just with promo in general, is not making it something that you throw away, something that people will actually use every day.
Oh, yeah. I cringe at the idea of my clients spending money on things that are just going to get thrown away. It goes against pretty much everything I believe in. So, at Ideation, we're always trying to make sure that our clients are spending their money in ways that make sense, that are going to give them good ROI. And I honestly feel like tech is one of those ways, but you have to be mindful of it and think about who's the audience, what's going to be the most applicable, and how can we make the best possible option fit within the budget that the client has, right? That's all those things are factors. And, that's what we're here for. Any closing thoughts, Michael?
I think that's all I got. But yeah, thanks for having me on. This was great opportunity to go through and get to talk about power banks. Always love talking about that. So
I love me some tech. I really do. So, again, this video is here to help demystify some of the terms around technology for your branded merch, but your account manager at Ideation can help make sense of it anytime that you are looking to do something a little bit different. I think you pointed out some tech options that are as affordable as a hat or a sweatshirt, cheaper than a sweatshirt. So sometimes it's about making a product mix that it makes sense for what our clients have for their event and their needs. But Ideation's here to make sure that we're helping you make sense of it all and know about the latest and greatest. So thank you so much for joining me, Michael.
yes, of course. Thanks for having me.